Our next guest is going to make sense of some inexpensive eats that really can help us, especially when it comes to what we're paying for groceries.
Yeah, Chef Tess is here, and we were wowed by, you were telling us what you're doing out here, and you're basically taking a few staples and making meals.
Right, and absolutely from scratch. So you're actually getting all the chemicals out of your diet, which will help with your hormone balancing, and then also saving a ton of money, which is crazy. You want to save money and eat healthy. This is a great way to do it.
Talk about how much money your family saved, though, as a result.
Usually we would save a couple $100 a week just going from eating the stuff that was convenience food at the grocery store loaded with chemicals to making it from scratch at home using staples we had already. So it was a great experience for me to be able to go from that to where I am now.
And you've got 5
learn and grow.
today?
I had my 5 top ones that saved the most money for me when I came home to be a full-time mom.
Where do we start?
Number 1 was my my baking mix. Now, normally at the grocery store, the 4-pound box is about $7. When I make that same 4-pound batch at home, it costs me about $1.50 to make.
What?
And it can make muffins, and I did like toaster waffles and all the kinds of things that you can do with a baking mix, but I did it from scratch at home. And mine is 9 grain and had no like trans fats or anything kind of chemicals in that. So it was a really cool, that's a really great one to have on hand for $1.50, so much cheaper. The next one that I like to do is I make my homemade cereals.
Okay.
Usually, I noticed yesterday when I was in QT that they had these little to-go oatmeal containers for $2 a piece. These should cost you about 10 cents to make at home if you do them at home.
Okay.
$2 to 10 cents, that's going to start chopping things away quite a bit. And really, all they are is just grains, and you can use even like creamer mixes, but this is a smoothie mix that I use when I make mine. And then just any kind of basic spice that you have at home. And I have all kinds of recipes for these on my blog, but I sent the PDF to your producer. So
I'm loving your blog,
viewers
by the way.
can absolutely get this.
How do they taste?
Yeah.
They taste awesome. So, and my kids prefer these to the boxed mixes.
Really?
So it's crazy cool.
Okay.
It's crazy
Did you add
cool.
water or milk?
It's just add boiling water, and it's on your go. So
Very cool.
It's very cool. The next one I like to do is I make my own homemade rice or whatever mix.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rice or whatever.
Sure.
Not necessarily rice-a-roni,
Yeah.
rice or
Whatever that is.
Rice a test.
So, Tessaroni, that's
There
what we
you
call it
go.
at my house.
Okay.
Actually, we even have on the list. Okay, so for the same price of 2 boxes of the family size, which is about $1.78 a box, you can make 15 of your own at home.
What do you use?
You use rice, and you use the Fideo noodles.
Okay.
They're just those ones that are like 30 cents, you know. And then I just put the seasoning, all the seasoning for it, and the rice and noodles separate in separate bags. And I put them in a container in my cupboard, and there you go. And the seasoning, it's all natural. There's no MSG, and you can get the all-natural bouillons for a really good price.
Yeah,
What's in here?
That is just dehydrated vegetables. And then seasoning, and that's really basically what's in those pouches that you're paying for.
But you know what's in your pouch.
I know exactly what I put in those ones. In fact, you can dehydrate your own vegetables just on a screen. Our heat is awesome for that. Arizona,
right?
rocks
It's a
for
great natural resource.
Use the sun.
You're a glass half full kind of gal.
Save some money, dehydrate your vegetables. So the next big one is saving money on the cream of whatever soup. I know a lot of ladies who can't even make a meal if they don't have a cream of mushroom whatever in their cupboard. These are about $1.44 a piece for the name brand. When you make them at home, you're looking at 15 cents.
Really?
For the same amount of sauce and equipment, I just do a powder mix. And I know if I add 3/4 cup of the mix and a 1.25 cups of water, and it makes this exact same
nice little
thing.
base for whatever it is you're trying to make.
It does the exact same thing, but it's 15 cents.
Wow.
Crazy.
That is amazing.
The other one is gravy mixes. Those go from anywhere from 50 cents to 79 cents. They should be about 7 cents at home to make. What your basic ingredients for those are is just cornstarch and then a bouillon and then onions. Most of them could be just those 3 ingredients. But if you look at the list of ingredients on the packages, it's ridiculous. It's like 25 things. Really? We need that many in our bodies?
And things we don't recognize. It looks like some sort of freaky...
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
That. So my last one is up on top here. There's a 5-pound bag of flour.
Okay.
Those average between $2.50 and $3.50 for the 5-pound bags. Those will make between 6 and 7 loaves of whole grain bread. So what do you pay for 1 loaf of really high quality, not like the Kleenex tasting breads, like you know what I'm talking about, like the real salty, hearty bread. You're paying what, $4 a loaf?
Sometimes more than that. Yeah.
So if you can make 7 loaves for that same price, making the bread from scratch, do it.
And you're going to do a class to show people how to do this.
Out at Honeyville Farms on Chandler Boulevard and 56th Street this Saturday at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
And I take 4 basic ingredients, just the flour, salt, yeast, and water.
Wow.
And I show how to do it without kneading the dough at all, and you get fabulous, amazing results every time.
And you make that?
I made bread just like that.
Is that chocolate bread?
That is chocolate
I think we
bread.
must
Okay,
have
that would be, I guess that would be ingredient number 5.
We'll do a 5th ingredient if it means chocolate.
But yeah, and the thing people are concerned about mostly is the yeast, that it's going to be expensive. And I actually teach how to take just a lump of dough and continue to perpetuate that yeast and keep it growing, so you never have to buy yeast again. So really, you're buying your flour and your salt, onward and upward, saving tons of money, being healthy. In there.
Chef Tess, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
If you haven't seen her blog, you've got to log on. So much great information, and that will be put on our hotline as well.